السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قال ولا يقسم حمام ولا بئر ولا رحى إلا أن يتراءى الشركاء، وكذا الحائط بين الدارين لأنه يشتمل على الضرر في الطرفين، إذ لا يبقى كل نسيم منتفعا به انتفاعا مقصودا، فلا يقسم
بسم الله
القاضي
الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على رسوله الكريم. ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين. اللهم نور قلوبنا بمعرفتك واشرح صدورنا بنور كتابك وسنة نبيك، واحفظنا عن زلل وخطأ في بيان مرادك. ربنا ولا تؤاخذنا بما نسينا وأخطأنا، ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به، واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا، أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. So we continue with Kitab al-Kisma. That is the distribution or the sharing of shared property, co-owned property, or any other item. And we're busy discussing which types of items will be distributed, shared, given to the partners according to their respective shares separately, and which things won't be. And again, won't be meaning that the Qadi won't force any of the partners in those instances, but rather if they are mutually happy to distribute the item, to share the item, to have individual shares in the item separate of each other, then he will do so. Otherwise, the masala is that if any one of them refuses, he will not force them in those instances or in those circumstances. So we did the batch of Masail where it was either beneficial or harmful to either one or both parties. And then we went on to those items which are either makili, mawzuni, can be measured or weighed, or adadul mutaqarib, things which are sold by the number and they resemble each other very closely, or adadul fahisha, sold by the number but they are distinct from each other to a great extent, what the Masail is. Now we're coming to those things which, if it is divided, will be harmful to the item itself, not to the parties involved, but harmful to the harmful meaning what? That the benefit of the item or the objective of the item will be lost. The purpose for which that item or that shared property is used will be lost. Okay, so he's saying ولا يقسم or لا يقسم if you say the file is القاضي حمام it almost probably be لا يقسم حمام ولا بئر ولا رحى إلا أن يتراءى شركاء وكذا الحائط بين الدارين. And a public bath, a hammam, in those days they used to have public baths, meaning that like hot showers basically. Because in those days, not every house had running or hot water. They had running water, but not necessarily hot. So they used to have these baths where you could go have a hot bath. Obviously, it was private, not open. So it was private within the confines of the Sharia. You paid a person, they would bring you hot water to your cubicle, whatever, and you have a hot bath there. So that is hammam. So, and especially like the travelers and so forth, that was a place that they could go and have a wash and things. ولا يقسم حمام ولا بئر, neither a well, a co-owned well, ولا رحى, neither a mill, a co-owned mill, unless both parties, the partners are happy, mutually happy to do so. يتراضيا. وكذا الحائط بين الدارين, similarly will reply, and similarly a garden which is shared between two houses will also not be distributed. Understand? Height normally refers to a fruit-bearing garden. Yes, if again, this is the masala that the Qadi won't force any of the parties if they're refusing to do so. But again, if it is in the best interest to do so, he may do so. And at the same time, if this is like a huge public park where it can be made into two separate businesses, then you can do so. If it's a huge mill that can be again divided into two, they got many milling machines like in today's time. Then you can and they it can be separated in a way that they can both have their own separate business of it. Then you can do so as well. Then obviously the well that's not possible to have two separate wells because it will lead to the water drying up and so forth. Okay. لأنه يشتمل على الضرر في الطرفين. Why? Because dividing it is inclusive of harm to both parties. Harm meaning to the actual item. إذ لا يبقى كل نصيب منتفعا بها انتفاع مقصود. Why? Because each share will not remain in such a manner that you can take benefit from it. What benefit? Intifal maqsoodin, benefit, which is the purpose for which that item is normally used. Okay? You will not be able to get the intended benefit out of the item. So it will be lost and will become useless. فلا يقسم القاضي بخلاف التراضي لما بيناه. Therefore, the Qadi will not distribute and divide such property or such co-owned items unless they are mutually happy with it for the reason which we explained before previously. What did he explain previously? That they know better, and they know better what their circumstances is. So therefore, if in their minds it will work, and they're happy to do so, the Qadi will do it. وإذا كانت الدول مشتركة, the next مسألة, the next thing is with regards to uh, immovable property that are either joined or not joined, meaning in the same place or in separate venues. وإذا كانت دول مشتركة, and now dual is the plural of dar. Dar in the previous time referred to the house, and bait meant a room in the house. Okay, so dar in previously, nowadays we use the word dar to refer to the room, and bait refer to the house. Understand? But previously, bait was the room. They used in Arabic the word dar came to apply to the house, and bait referred to one room in the house. So وإذا كانت الدول مشتركة في مصر واحد قسم كل واحد على حدتها في قول أبي حنيفة. If there are several houses which are co-owned in one city, so they might not necessarily be in one location as such, but they are in one city. Okay, so it is in the, what? Give me one name of a suburb there, be
like
Marv.
Marfa Sabah, so like
Name
Yutne
of any
also,
suburb in P.
Yutne.
Uteneg, right? So the houses are all in Uteneg, even though they might be in different spots, east, west, north, south. Right? They're not in the same place, but they're in the same town, in the same suburb. Okay. So according to Imam Hanifa Rahmatullah, each house will be divided separately, meaning the house in the northern corner, half of it's two people. The one in the southern corner, which they own jointly, half of like that. So and so on. So each house will be divided separately, and each partner will have a share in every house, every single house. وقال إن كان أصلح لهم كس 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 لأن وقال إن كان الأصلح لهم قسمة بعضها في بعض قسمها. And Sahibain say if it is more beneficial for them that it be divided some of it to some of it be how do you say this that it be divided distributed amongst them, then he will do so. In other words, you take the one in the north, you take the one in the south. You take the one in the east, you take the one in the west. So they won't have 50-50 share in every house, but the entire house will belong to one person. And so in exchange for the entire house belong to the other person. Follow?
Yeah.
وعلى هذا الخلاف الأكرحة المتفرقة المشتركة. And based upon the same اختلاف will be أكرحة. أكرحة is the plural of كراع, which means empty piece of land, an empty plot, no buildings, nothing on it. المتفرقة, which are at separate places or points. المشتركة, which are co-owned. لهما. Now صاحبين, what is the argument? أنها جنس واحد. That this is one genes. Understand? A house is a house, a home is a home. Isman wa suratan, in name and materially as well, outwardly as well. It's one. Nadran ila sukna, looking at the actual living quarters that the house is used for staying in for residence. So from that sense, they one genes outwardly. وأجناس معنى نظرا إلى اختلاف المقاصد. However, they are of different genes. They are of different kinds, معنى, non-materially, or you can say from the point of purpose, looking at the different purposes for which a house can be used. They are different genes. Understand? Or because you might take a house for a particular purpose. I might look at a different reason why I want a house. And as such, we will disagree. I might like a house near the beach. You might like a house near the beach. I might like a house on a cliff overlooking a river. You might not like that, and so on and so forth. So from that point of view, they are like different ajnas, different genes. So yes, outwardly a house is a house, but looking at the purpose and the reasons why you might choose a house is as if there are different entities. You follow? ووجوه السكنى, so that is باختلاف المقاصد ووجوه السكنى, looking at the different purpose and reasons why you might choose a house, and also the reasons for a residence. فيفوض الترجيح إلى القاضي, so therefore the tarjih, preference, will be given to the qadi. What does he think? And you will take it by individual case, then case by case. In certain cases, he might do a taqsim like that, or in certain cases, he might decide, okay, no, 50-50, understand? In certain cases, he might divide each house to one house per partner, like that. Imam Hanifa Walawi says, أن الاعتبار لمعنى, that no, consideration should be given to the ma'na, to the purpose and the benefit of the house. So outwardly the house is a house, but you also have admitted that when it comes to the ma'na, when it comes to the purpose of a house, there it differs. وهو المقصود, and that is the whole objective of owning a house. ويختلف ذلك باختلاف البلدان والمحال والجيران والقرب إلى المساجد والماء اختلاف فاحشا. And that differs, for example, because of differing areas, buldan or mahal, different locations, or jiran, and different neighbors, or qurb ila masjid, how far or distant it is from the masjid, or ma, and the water, and so access to water, and so on and so forth. Ikhtilaf in fashion, great amount of difference. So all of these things, keeping all these things into perspective, all these things in mind, one house differs from another house in terms of its objective. فلا يمكن التعديل في القسمة. So keeping this great disparity in mind, this huge difference in mind, it's not possible to have justice. It's not possible to distribute the home equally in a manner that is fair to everyone. You're giving the guy the house in the east and the other one in the west, but he might not like that one in the east because it's far from the masjid, or it's very far from the schools that these children go to, or very far from the town and the shops and the other amenities and so forth. You understand? And so on and so forth. So how can you possibly give each one such a place that it contains all the amenities that the other one has? It's not possible. There's no way to distribute it fairly and justly in that manner. ولهذا لا يجوز التوكيل بشراء الدار. That is why it's not permissible to make somebody a wakil to purchase a house. You can't just tell him, buy me a house. You have to give a full description, what type of house, how many rooms, and this and that and all that. So just saying, buy me a house, that's not correct. There's too much jahalat. There's too much error for, only too much margin of error there. جهالة. Too many unknown factors. وكذا لو تزوج على دار لا تصح التسمية. And similarly, if a person has to get married for the mahar being a house, again, this mahar, this naming the house as a mahar is not correct. Why? Because again, she might have a particular picture in her mind of what type of house she's going to receive, and the house she gets is not according to that expectation. So again, yeah, too much shahala, too many unknown factors, too, too great a disparity from person to person for it to be just mentioned like that. And said mutlaqan without any uh, exactness. وكما هو في حكم كما هو الحكم فيها في الثوب. Just like how it is the same ruling with regards to cloth as we did before. بخلاف الدار الواحدة. Contrary to one house when it is co-owned. إذا اختلفت بيوتها if the rooms are different. لأن في قسمة كل بيت على حدة ضرر, because to distribute each room half of, that will lead to harm. And I said, I don't want to share the bathroom with you. I don't want to share my bedroom with you. 50-50, you can walk in whenever you want to. And I said, it's not going to make sense. فقسمت الدار قسمة واحدة, so a house will be divided into one, meaning 50-50. قال تأكيد الوضع في الكتاب. Now the صاحب الكتاب إمام مرغناني, صاحب الهداية رحمة الله, is saying that قدور تأكيد الوضع في الكتاب by him confining the scenario in the book. The scenario that he painted was what في مصر واحد, he specifically said. If it is in one location, in one city, okay, one town. So yes, that's a قيد احترازي there. He specifically mentioned one town. Why? So he's saying that Imam Qudur Rahman is specifying this particular masala to that scenario of one town. إشارة إلى أن الدار دارين إذا كان في مصرين لا تجمعان في قسمته, indicating towards the fact that if there are two houses that are being shared in two different cities, they will not be joined in the division عندهما according to صاحبين. وهو رواية هلال عنهما, and this is the riwayat of Hilal from the two of them. وعن إمام محمد رحمة الله أنه يقسم إحداهما في الأخرى. And according to another narration of Imam Hanif رحمة الله, the one will be divided into the other. Again, 50-50 in other words. والبيوت في محلة أو محال تقسم قسمة واحدا. And rooms which are either in one place, في محلة, one location, one area, أو محال, or they are in one building. Understand? Like apartments in one building. محال. تقسم قسمة واحدا will also be divided as one. لأن التفاوت فيها بينهما يسير. Why? Because in such an instance, the difference between them will be very negligible, very little. And in most cases, apartments in one building block resemble each other. والمنازل المتلازقة كالبيوت. Now I think والمنازل. Now what is a manzil? A manzil is also a place of stay. This is almost like an apartment as well. Almost like an apartment as well, but it obviously, yeah, it's got all the amenities of a house. And والمنازل المتلازقة كالبيوت والمتباينة كالدور. And apartments which are attached to each other, small apartments or semis that are attached to each other are like separate homes, كالبيوت. والمتباينة كالدور, and if they are separate, then they are, are like rooms. كالبيوت are like rooms. And if they are separate, then they are like homes. So from one aspect, they resemble a house, but from one aspect, they resemble a room if they are attached. لأنه بين الدار والبيت. Why? Because a manzil is it resembles both a house and a room. It resembles a room in the sense that it has everything under one roof. But it's small. It's in that sense it resembles a house. But what it resembles a bed because it's a place where you sort of spend the night. Okay, على ما مر من قبل فأخذ شبها من كل واحد as is already passed before in كتاب البيوع. So therefore it will take resemblance of each one of these things. Okay, you follow?
Okay. But
Okay,
again,
we'll
if
stop
they,
here. Love?
but, but again, if they decide to give up, they have a mutual agreement, it will be still
Yes,
fine.
that will always be there. This is the
True.
masala, but that is always there. If they're happy, the cause they can't do anything, you have to do as they please, as they want.
Okay.
That always, yeah, always keep that as a side, as a footnote, always, right? In all these masail, yeah. Now, I think وإن كانت دارا أو وضيعة أو دارا أو حانوتا قسم كل واحد على حدة. Now, this is غير منقول, immovable property, but of different genes. If it is one small house, or if a house and a piece of land that they co-own, or a house in Hanut. Hanut is like a shop or an inn that they co-own. And each one of them will be divided separately, 50-50. You can't, why? Because it's the ikhtilaf of genes. One is a piece of land with nothing on it, and a house on the other side. So you can't give the one the land and the other one the house, because the purpose and the objective of each is different. So here you have to divide it 50-50. لاختلاف الجنس. Why? Because they are different kinds, they are different things. قال رضي الله عنه جعل الدار والحانوت جنسين. Imam Quduri Rahmatullah made the house and the hanut like a shop, two different genes. وكذا ذكر الخصاف. Imam Khassaf has also mentioned the same thing, that these are two different things. وقال في إيجارات الأصل أن إيجاد منافع الدار بالحانوت لا تجوز. However, in the Kitab al-Ijara of Asl of the Mabsut of Imam Muhammad Rahmatullah, in Kitab al-Ijara he has mentioned that to rent the house for the benefit of a shop, other you placing the shop as the rent sent for the house, لا تجوز, won't be permissible. وهذا يدل على أنهما جنس واحد. So this indicates towards the fact that this is one genes. So this masla is indicating towards the fact they are separate genes, but that masla in Kitab al-Ijara is indicating towards the fact that they are one genes. فيجعل في المسألة روايتان. So either we will say that in this particular masala there are two riwayats, one of permissibility and impermissibility. أو تبنى حرمة الربا هنالك على شبه المجانسة. Or we will say that the reason why it's not permissible in Kitab al-Ijara is because of the possibility. Understand that it could be considered to be one genes, therefore this will be riba. And for تبنى حرمة الربا, it is based upon the impermissibility of riba over there in Kitab al-Ijara على شبهة المجالسة, because of the possibility of it being the same genes outwardly. You follow? Okay.
Jima.
Anything? Okay, we'll stop there. Anything you didn't understand?
No, Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Okay, afterwards we discusses how the kisma will be done, a brief sketch of how the qasim will go about making and doing the distribution. Gee. سبحان الله وبحمده سبحانك الله وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله.